آمين. 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 We're still continuing talking about the same topic of explanation the verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, and we stopped at when Allah said, what could be translated to when Allah tested Ibrahim with words and he fulfilled them, and he said, I'm going to make you a leader to people. He said, I'm from my offspring. He said, my covenant will not be reached to those who are transgressors. So when Allah tested Ibrahim, it could be with good or bad. So the human being could be tested with the good or the bad. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and we test you with good and evil as a test, and to us you will come back. So Allah, the one who created death and life, so you can see who is among you is the best of deeds. So the test has different meaning. Either could be to forgive the sins and to null the deeds, the bad deeds, or to raise in the status. It will be so it will shake the hearts and to purify the souls of the Muslims, or to show the hypocrites, or could be a punishment because of sin. And Allah, and we all know that every calamity comes with a sin and be revealed because of repentance. So Allah Azza wa Jal honoring his companion Ibrahim, who made him as a leader, that people will take his example in monotheism. Allah the Almighty is declaring in this ayah that he had tested his companion Ibrahim with words and he fulfilled them, meaning he had fulfilled them and he did the best of anyone could do. What are those words? There's are orders and forbidden. It's something legislated by Allah, not where Allah is obligated something and forbidden something, and what is permissible, not permissible. Or Allah's word could be about his destination and what he decreed. And so all of that is in his book. Allah said, if the sea is an extension to the words of Allah, the sea will be expired before the words of Allah are expired, even if we had an extension or more oceans to and Allah said also, if all the trees in the earth that are created from heaven to end, and all of it are pens, and there's so many oceans and 7 more oceans amount the oceans, it will not fulfill the words of Allah. So the word that Allah tested Ibrahim are the registered word that Allah is tested him, and he fulfilled them all on the perfect way that Allah wanted from him. So he deserves, with that fulfillment, to be a leader in religion. And the leadership in religion is it's not like the prophethood, where Allah Azza wa Jalla, no matter what you do, you're not going to be a prophet with your action. But to be the leader in the religion, you get it with the patience and with religion. Allah said, we have made leaders among them who guide with our order when they were patient, and they are believing and certain with our signs, with our ayat. And this is one of the dua that we learn from the Quran, when Allah said, oh Allah, make us leaders to the bias. You cannot say, oh Allah, make me a prophet. You could ask Allah to make you a leader, but not a prophet, because this is something only Allah choose and you don't get that degree by asking him that. By the way, someone, he went to a test and they told him what the capital of Algeria. He said Mozambique. And then he went outside. He said, "Oh Allah," started making dua. "Oh Allah, make the capital of Algeria Mozambique." Of course, if he asks Allah so many times, it's not going to happen, because Allah said, if the truth is following their desire, then everything will be corrupted. Ask Allah secretly and obviously, and do not exceed, do not be oppressors. So when Ibrahim asked, when he got that high degree, he said, "And among my offspring," he didn't say my offspring, he said, "And among my offspring," because the offspring, he knew that the rule of Allah, that there is some will be good, some will be bad. But the leader is the one that people are follow, or set an example to follow. No prophet was sent except for his people, for his tribe. But Allah Azza wa Jal, He put the rule, no transgressors will reach my covenant. So from the offering could be some good or bad. Only the righteous will be receiving the covenant of Allah. So Allah answered the dua, did not stop the dua, but He showed His rule. And Allah did not send a prophet except from the offspring of Ibrahim, and no book except in the offspring of Ibrahim. And Allah said that we have made the prophethood and the book in his offspring, meaning the offspring of Ibrahim. And the road to leadership is to do what Allah obligated to do. That's the first thing. If you want to be a leader, you have to first to do all the things that Allah obliged you to do. Allah said to the Prophet ﷺ, then straighten up like you were ordered. To get the leadership is when you, for those who want that leadership and who wants the steadfastness for the religion, they have to take the path of Ibrahim alayhi salam, to fulfill the words of Allah, His orders, His obligations. So Allah said, I'm going to make you a leader to people. So what are those words that Allah Azza wa Jal tested Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he fulfilled them, and he deserved from that to be a leader to humanity. The translators, they disputed about this, but they have two ways. It is the natural orders, the orders, the thing that Allah forbid, that Allah obligated Ibrahim to do. He made him to purify, some in the head and some in the body, to cut the mustache, to clean the mouth with a swak, to the head, rubbing the head, and the other one is to take the hair out of the underarm and the private part, and I missed the other two. And also Allah tested him when he was ordered to leave his people, and the way he did it, and also the debate he had with Namrud, the king, the tyrant king, when he stood on the danger of the order, when he took the path to challenge the tyrant king. And the humans always try to be safe, but Ibrahim, he took a chance with Allah, The only time you're allowed to gamble with your life is when it is to uh, raise the status of the word of Allah. And Allah rewarded Ibrahim by saving him from being thrown in the fire. And what Allah has ordered him from being generosity, and Ibrahim was the most generous person. He was a leader. He was a good example of the generosity. When we hear فراغ إلى أهله, I mean, he went. You don't ask the guest, would you like to drink tea? No, no, no. You just go and bring him some. So he went secretly, without his guest know that he left. And then he went to his family to ask him to slaughter, a small calf. Nowadays you say, oh, you want to eat or you want to drink, and that person probably wants it, but he cannot say yes. So be careful on the character of the most generous person, Ibrahim, who said that he went to his family, to his wife, secretly without the guests paying attention. So he went secretly, alayhi salam, and then the other test when he was ordered to slaughter his son. And no matter what you try to find words that are going to express the accuracy of that place and its importance and its and how the test was to Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Allah was more beloved to him than anything from his own son. He did not even argue but he did not say, oh, what should I do with myself? Let someone else do it. This is his son, the one that he raised, that he was very happy when he saw him grow up in front of him. And the best age for the father is when he is mature. So Ibrahim told his son that I was saw in my dream, meaning that's an order from Allah, that I'm slaughtering, and the fulfillment to the order of Allah, and to obey Allah, and that's why he deserved to be a leader to all humanity. All religions that we know nowadays, they glorify Ibrahim, and most all of them, they say that they belong to him. And Allah said that Ibrahim was not a Jew or a Christian. He was a Hanif, a natural one, a Muslim, and he was not among the people who made partners with Allah. And the most superior to have this, to acclaim him, it will be Ibrahim. And the most one is prior for this prophet is this prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those who believe. And you find nowadays that people are trying to cheat people by claiming Ibrahim's religion. They glorify Ibrahim, so it'll be a topic for this wage against any religion, because Allah Azza wa Jal made him a leader to people. So whenever he fulfilled the words of Allah, Allah described Ibrahim the one who fulfilled. When Allah says on one of his servants that he had fulfilled his promise, when Allah told him submit, he said, I submit to the Lord of everything. We cannot go beyond this without some of the characters of the companion of Allah, as Allah described it, that he is a leader, he is one, and he is a nation by himself. he is compiling all the good characters. So he'll be a whole nation by himself. And it was said that what is meant by that, he's the leader that people take him as an example. So Ibrahim was among the qaniteen. He leave everything to worship Allah. And then he is named that he is Hanif. Meaning he is away from astray toward straighten. So he is away from partnership with Allah to monotheism. And it was said Hanafi is the one who has something in his leg. But it's very important that people know that Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he said that this is my Lord, this is my Lord, that he was not worshipping any of those. He was just debating his people about what they believe. When he saw a star, he said, this is my Lord, and they said, no, I don't like those who leave. And the same thing with the moon, and when he saw the sun, he said, well, this is my Lord, this is great. And then he said, oh my God, my people, I am free from what you are claiming. I submit my face to the one who created heavens and earth. But he was debating people, not he is there to put the, he is not like moving from some people say monotheism, it is something man-made. That he, except from worshipping the devils and stuff like this, is no, it's not. It is a guidance from Allah. And the first human, Adam alayhi salam, was a prophet. He came with monotheism to Allah, to worship Allah alone. Allah said that people, they were only one nation, and then they diverted, and Allah then sent the messengers as warners and give glad tidings. So Ibrahim, in that status, he was debating his family, and he is and he was not like contemplating the no, he already worshipped Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why Allah said, and he was not among those who put partners with Allah. And Allah stress on that meaning in more than one area in the Quran. To grateful, he was grateful to Allah, and this is the description of Allah to his companion, that he is grateful to the bounty of Allah. Allah guided him to the straight path. And Allah the Almighty says, and whatever path you have, it is from Allah. And that's why the master of istighfar is between admitting your sin, you admit Allah's bounty, then you ask for forgiveness. Oh Allah, you are my Lord, and no Lord but you created me, I'm your servant, and I'm on your covenant as much as I can. I seek refuge from what I've done wrong, and I admit your bounty on me, and forgive me. There is no one who can forgive but you. So the being grateful is not only by the tongue, it has to be with the action. Allah said to Al Dawood, do Al Dawood gratefulness. And Allah said, indeed there are little who are grateful to me. When you slaughter on Eid, you are giving it in the sake of Allah. When you give that charity, these are deeds which is being grateful to Allah. And it's done not only with the tongue, it's also with your limbs. Ibrahim, one of his characters, that he is Halim, meaning he is very patient, where he controls his soul. And Halim, So the Halim is the one who do unbundling of Hilm, of compassionate. And when he talked to his dad, he said, peace be upon you. When his dad told him, I'm going to stone you, he said, I will ask my Lord to forgive you. He is taking care of me. I will leave what you are worshiping beside Allah. I'm afraid that I'm hoping that I will not be miser with Allah's dua. So when we describe Ibrahim, we describe him as a Halim. When Ibrahim had no fear and he got the glad tag, he started debating us on the people of Lut. He is very repentant and he is very calm, but his calmness was not an excuse for him to admit to do a sin. He is the one who said, I'm going to destroy your idols after you leave for your festivities. So he destroyed them all. And he is the Halim. That does not mean to deny that is wrong. And that's how he destroyed it. Except for the elder idol, he left it so they could go back to him. And also, one of his character that he is very generous, as the messenger of Allah who went to the people of Lut, and before they did, they went to Ibrahim to give him the glad tidings, and he was generous to them. And he knew that he always give good hospitality to everyone. And if someone you never seen, you slaughter a calf for him, that means that you are a generous person. And this is only for a prophet. Allah said, and be patient, just like the main prophets. And also the bravery when he faced his people, when he said that he's going to destroy them, destroy the idols, and he loved in the sake of Allah and to hate in the sake of Allah. When Ibrahim said that he and his people, that I'm free from what you worship except for the one who created me, and he will guide me. So we were ordered to take his example. When they said to their people, we are free from what you are worship away from Allah, we have disbelieved in you and hatred between us and thee until you believe in Allah alone. The purity also of the heart, when nothing could help except when Ibrahim, he came with a clear heart. The one who are free from the temptations, and he is safe from the doubtful thing. And the best gift that Allah Azza wa Jal will save you, and not to deny Allah's order because of something that you want or crave. Allah's word is fulfilled, and He is all fair and accurate. So when we say a leader, he is the one who is followed. I mean, took an example in religion. So the leadership of Ibrahim is general and also special. It is for all humans, when it comes to monotheism, to believe in Allah. Good faith and monotheism is in the common denominator between all prophets and messengers of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah said, we haven't sent any prophet before you that we tell him that there is no other Lord but me and worship me. And also when Allah talk about the people of Adam, and when He ordered not to worship anything but Allah. but the special one is what has to deal with the permissible things and the things that are forbidden. Allah Azza wa Jal has made a special orders for each people. That's why Isa alayhi salam came to ease, because he said, I came to ease some of the things that were forbidden on you. To the nasq, meaning that you have an order that came after the first order, so Allah talked to them, and the thing that's going to help them in that time, at that time and the place when humanity reached a certain point, he sent the seal of his prophets. So now they deserve to be addressed. Ameen. So there is leadership that are general when it comes to people, and then the one that is special for the things that are forbidden and permissible. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah, and from my offspring, Allah told him, my covenant will not be reached by those who are transgressors. The prophethood or the leadership in the name of religion, no one will reach it. And we yesterday we discussed something that happened to us about fisq, disobedience, and fujur, and the people who are tyrants, or their leadership is stopped because of their disobedience. What did people say? Where did the different branches of Islam came in there? And this is a historical film. Maybe in the next few minutes left, if we can go through some, if we can. If not, we'll leave it for next meeting. The scholars, they are disputed on two scholars, I mean two paths. The first one, that the leadership in the religion is voided with rebellious and transgression. And some of the Sunnah and the Sunnah Khawarij, they're among those who adopted that saying and made it something that people use. The other people, the majority of the Sunnah Jama'ah, that the leadership cannot be void with disobedience or aggression, but there's still the advice. You don't believe them on their lies and do not share their transgression. Whomever helped them, he is not among the Prophet ﷺ, nor among his followers, and he will not be close to the Kawthar of the Prophet ﷺ. So very quickly, what are the evidence when they say that the leadership is void with transgression? They said the first thing is just the minor, I mean the more ayat that talk about this. The Prophet said, if you find something wrong, then change it with your hand, if you can't with your tongue, if you can't, well, at least with heart. If not, if your heart, and this is the least of faith. Also, the Prophet ﷺ said, by Allah, you will ordain what is good and forbid what is evil, and you will take the aggressors, and if you keep on the truth, otherwise Allah will put your hearts against each other, and He will and this is something you will see later on. So be patient, inshallah, until the picture is very clear to you. If not, we'll continue Thursday, inshallah. They said that also we have another group of people, a group of, so that you have to fight those who are transgressors. Allah said, the Prophet said, no prophet who will be sent except they will have people who will take his orders, and they do what they are not supposed to do, and whomever did something with his hand, he's a believer, and whomever struggled with him with his heart, he's a believer, and whomever did with his tongue, he's a Muslim, a believer, and there is no more of Islam after this. He said there will be leaders who will do opposite what they say, and he showed the salvation during these transgressions to change with your heart, with your hand, with your tongue, at least with your heart, and this is the least of the religion. Also, the Prophet ﷺ said there will be leaders that are oppressors, and whomever support them or cheer them, or he is like among me, and he is among the losers in the hereafter. And another group of hadith that shows the ordain what is good and not to help each other on the transgression, the order of Allah Azza wa Jal about the people. When two groups are fighting, then you fight the one that aggressors until they comes back to his senses. You will find a lot of details, but here, if we look like the bird looks from the top, what is the evidence for the other bird? They said we have evidence that ordered to be patient on the transgressions of the leaders, and one of them is the hadith of Ubadah ibn Sa'ih. He said we gave covenant to the Prophet ﷺ to obey him in good and bad, and when we go, wherever we go, and not to dispute their leaders unless you find a proof from Allah. And also another hadith, there will be leaders after me, they will not be guided to my guidance, and they will not listen to my sunnah. And he said there will be men who have hearts like the hearts of the shayateen, in the shape of humans. So they was asked, what do you do? He said, you listen. And the hadith of Salama, that there will be leaders, some will know their actions, some we don't know. Whomever hated, he's saved. Whomever did, he has and they said, don't we fight them? He said no. He said no, if they prayed. And the hadith of Abbas, as we said, whomever found from his leader something he hates, let him wait on him. Some of the action of the Sahaba and some of the older who stayed away from the fitna and did not fight, like Abdullah ibn Umar and Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas and Musa al-Ash'ari and Usama bin Zayd, and Muhammad bin Maslama, and they remember in a very important way that this is what these people of the Sunnah agreed after hard leadership with Medina. After hundreds of people were slaughtered, the people of the Sunnah, they agreed to leave the fighting in fitna, and that's why because of the hadith, the people of the Sunnah, they stop fighting each other. So how we combine all these verses? The one that ordered to stop what is evil and do what is good. This is general, and this is part. And also they were said that the verses that has the fighting against the leaders could be done without fighting with the sword. Like you don't help them with their aggression. That does not mean you don't go and visit. No. The permissible things are the other things that Allah and His Messenger will permit, and the same thing with the things He forbid. And the religion is what Allah and His Messenger chose as a religion. If He said we need to stop our tongue from going to the thing that what happened with the companions, and we need to repeat what Abdul Aziz said. Umar ibn al-Aziz said, this is a fitna that get people to kill each other. Let's purify our hearts, our tongues from indulging in that debate. And their action is between something acceptable, or it will be something that Allah forgives. The Prophet ﷺ said, oh Allah, by Allah, take care of my companions. If you love them, you get the love of Allah, and you hate them, you'll get Allah's anger at you. After contemplation that the ayat with the patience, it is more stronger. But if we're talking about the slaughter of people, this could definitely going to cause a big calamity. But if we're talking beyond that, about something political or jurisdictional or political, without putting people's blood, Allah ordered us to be patient. So you could have mechanism of change without the bloodshed or people go to the street in protest. And the non-Muslims, they have institutions that forbid evil or control it, and interaction where it will change certain policies. Allah did not order to be silent on the tyrants or the oppressors, but He wants us to help those who are in need. And so if there is any political path, and the constitution says that the ruler could stay there 4 years, and Ibn Uthaymin, he said that is permissible. This is not the general alliance to Allah No, this is a partial one that bring people together, and they agree on certain things that's going to stop the tyranny and forget about fighting the leaders, but because if it gets you make him more make that more violent, no, you need to do the opposite. It's very big topic. Inshallah we'll continue on Thursday, inshallah.